EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi there and welcome. Hey, we're certainly in the middle of interesting times, but I have some very, to me anyway, was shocking and interesting information. Basically, before I give you the specifics, generally speaking, I think the United States, I'm not saying altogether, but historically, we undertake 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time, and worry about the economy and the stock market for this year and next year. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that has been like 90% of our country's focus. What is happening with people's income, the feeling of things are stable, or they don't like the economy, or they do like it, or it's getting better, it's getting worse. And that is pretty much it. Meanwhile, our adversaries, like China and Russia, they're not looking for anything to happen tomorrow or the next day. They're planning for the next 5, 10, 20, 50, even 100 years from now. But they have a plan of action for all that time. And that's what really bothers me. The current administration is picking up on that a little, but we're just getting started, like building a dome for missiles and drones and security protection, both with our new department, Aerospace, or the Space Army. We're just getting started on all of that stuff. Russia and China are really plowing ahead silently, but have plans. And let me start giving you the first example. This last week, there was a Russian ship, not armed, not a bunch of military on it, just a ship, and it wasn't exactly loaded with cargo, but I think they did have some cargo on it. It was moving extremely slow in the North Sea, which, to refresh your memories, that's north of most of Europe, and it separates Scandinavia, in other words, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, from the continental Europe area. Why is it moving so slow? Well, the people in Finland were very suspicious of it. They knew it was a Russian ship, and they're not happy looking at what it's doing. Then all of a sudden they realize the reason it's moving so slow, all the anchors were down, scraping the bottom of the North Sea. And it hit them. What they're trying to do, they're going to do it on the Mediterranean also, if they haven't done it already. I don't think they have, though. They're doing that in order to break up underwater electric connections, like the transatlantic cable and other cables, underground gas lines, underground pipelines. All of a sudden, they want to exactly clip all of them, and instantly several countries will be affected. They won't be going under, but they will be affected. Their gas lines may be busted, their electric lines may be busted, and it's a conscious decision to do that. And all of a sudden, now Vance and Trump and Peter Hegseth from the Department of War, they're all under all of this. They've done it also a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Remember, they tried to get the pipeline on the eastern
Right.
part of the United States.
Right.
They didn't bust it, but they played with the electronics so it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I remember. That's what I was going to say, Martha. I remember them doing that. Didn't they also do it to some area like around England?
Yes. They did it, the English Channel.
Right. There was something that they were fooling around with between England or France or something like that as well. Yeah, okay.
And we caught them on one. They wanted to slowly learn how to operate the Panama Canal locks, and they were giving the Chinese people 3 or 4 or 5 years to really perfect it, so there's no misdemeanors or misunderstanding. Well, we were lucky enough that Vance is now having the Chinese operators removed, and our people are going in, and believe it or not, Panama is very happy with us taking it back. It was too much for them to handle, which is why they let China have it. That was not our intention. We built the Panama Canal. We were turning it over, according to our president at the time. We were turning it over because they were to be an independent state, and they could more than handle that and enjoy the income and build their country. So Jimmy Carter said, well, it's about time we let go of it and let Panama take it over. Where they don't have enough people, not only trained and skilled, they don't have enough people who even want the job of their native citizenry. So they're very, very happy. They like the United States. We have a good relationship with them, and they said, by all means, take over the running of the locks from the Chinese. But 5 or 10 years from now, guess what? They're going to block it to, if the Chinese were running the locks, 5 years from now, they'd probably close them down to all U.S. transports. Another way of controlling the globe. And we blocked that, thank goodness. That's only one thing. Right now, as I speak, in all of South America, both the Pacific side and the Atlantic side, the Chinese are trying to build shipping centers, just like what we have. Shipping centers all over the place, where they can not only sell their goods to South America, but buy their food especially, and farm productions. Believe it or not, 10, 15 years from now, they want to end up controlling all of South America, prohibiting them from even buying anything American or European. See, they plan for the future, and now we're aware of it, and we're catching on, hopefully before it's too late, but it was almost too late in some instances. And Trump, for those of you who are very much, even super conservative Democrats and Republicans, who want to control the spending, and I'm sympathetic to that. We all are. We're not after foolish spending. But believe it or not, when Trump took office, and even I said, oh, here we go, spending on something else. But I've changed my mind. He wants to at least be co-owner with Denmark on owning Greenland. I don't know how well you people have noticed things geographically, But Greenland, in terms of land mass, is larger than the United States and larger than most of North America. It's not like a little island like Tahiti in the Pacific. It is a large landmass, but half of it covers the Arctic, and a good portion of it is specifically within the Arctic Circle. Well, guess who's developing the Arctic Circle? China and Russia are trying to have a very good shipping route across the Arctic. It's a lot less in terms of mileage to get from one place to the other. And it's also an area where it hasn't been developed. They can claim some of these small iceberg islands. It is very important that we have our flags up there and claim that, especially the northern part of Greenland. It doesn't need to be productive in terms of farmland. It needs to be productive in terms of shipping and military and all kinds of sonar and space activities. So we are rising up, but we're almost, not quite, Johnny come late. We're able to take care of some important areas and make sure that they are still open to the free world. Not just the United States, but Europe, India, and other countries. And please, your initial reaction, like mine was, oh, come on, let's not waste money on Greenland. Greenland is a pivotal area. It is protective for the first landmass to protect all of Canada, not to mention a major spot for protecting the United States, and especially for controlling Antarctica, the Arctic Circle, because that is going to be the future of a lot of development and space explorations, whether we like it or not.
Right. You know what, Martha, too? A lot of people thought, and myself kind of included, that like you said, here we go again. Now we're going to ruffle all these feathers or whatever. And who in the world buys so and so and so and so places? Let's just walk in and we're going to buy Greenland like it's some idea off the wall. But strategically, you're right. And if you think about some of the things that the United States has purchased in the past, Alaska, the Louisiana purchase, I mean, people were up in arms about that too at the time, but now you see the significance of it. The same as us being out in the Philippines or us being out in Tahiti or whatever islands in the western too. But it did seem crazy to me too. Let's just drive up and let's go buy Greenland. It sounded silly, but when you know the background of it now, it doesn't sound so weird.
Yeah. So I'm asking all of us, including myself, when some new ideas approach from our government and we say, oh, come on, this is ridiculous. We need to check into it a little more, because I was the perfect example of, oh, Greenland, this is ridiculous. And there's nothing ridiculous about it. It's a huge, huge landmass, and it's in a pivotal location for the future, for everything from security to transport to even development, because it's also rich with the very basic minerals. The minerals that we suddenly find so expensive for producing computer chips and telephones, etc. So there's a lot to think about with our future. But what really I want to get across is the importance of taking care of all these other matters as China plows ahead and Russia, as bad as it is economically, and believe it or not, some of its citizens are even starving in Russia, and people don't care. Their economy is not good, just like Iran's is not good, but you can let some of the people ration their food and say it's poor, they're not going to do anything. Well, believe it or not, Putin doesn't care. He wants to own half the world and let China own the other half. He can't have it all. He knows that. But he can sure have a whole lot more than he has now if we let him. And he has no intention of giving up the Ukrainian war unless he is literally wiped out and no one buys oil from him. He has trouble buying food, and he has to throw in the towel. I'm sorry to say that's what's going to happen if he is to be stopped. We've really, really got to see it. He was testing a couple of weeks ago when we all heard he sent drones and missiles over Poland and even over Estonia, that tiny little country north of Poland. They are all getting nervous, and the European NATO alliance is getting nervous too. Well, you don't sit back, wait and see, and say, uh-oh, we'll build our stockpile and see what happens. When you see what happens, it's too late. And that's what this world is turning into. Globally, we have to be careful everywhere we look. Another one which the last administration really didn't think out, when we pulled out of Afghanistan, the airport in Afghanistan is literally less than 100 miles from the part of China where all the nuclear and military equipment is manufactured. That's a perfect spot for us to have a little say in the matter, and it's very easy to blow up, but more important to watch its development and figure out what China is doing. And Taliban, for a little money, is more than happy to let us have the airport. They're not doing so well in terms of farming and getting taxes from within the country. So there are things like that that we have got to switch around and take control of now and in the near future. Sorry to say we got to take a break, but when we come back, I'll tell you a few more things. Stay with us.
Hey, you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
If you dream of creating a home that embodies sophisticated island living, visit Sunshine Furniture now during our 50% off Tommy Bahama and Lexington Fall Home event. Bedroom, living and dining room, home office, media, and occasional pieces, Tommy Bahama furniture is distinctive and unique, yet inviting and comfortable, and is all 50% 50% off. We're also having a floor sample closeout sale on outdoor furniture where you can save up to half price on selected closeout patio sets from Berlin Garden, Kingsley Bait, Brown Jordan, Telescope, and others. Chaises, chairs, sofas, love seats, dining sets, and fire pits, all built to withstand the Florida elements, and we specialize in replacement cushions, umbrellas, outdoor lamps, and rugs. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales center directly across the street for the best deals anywhere. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and come in now for the 50% off Tommy Bahama Fall Sale.
At Evergreen Media, we know the people, the businesses, and the work needed to take your marketing to the next level. We know where locals go to shop, work, and have fun.
We're here to focus on your local advertising so you can focus on your business. This is our home. This is our business. Evergreen Media. We market, you grow.
Well, hi there and welcome back. Hey, it's really something and was an eye-opener for me the last few weeks of all that's going on that most of the news isn't even reporting on. The news several months ago was laughing about Greenland, and they were laughing on what's the matter of trying to go back to Panama Canal. And they don't even think. Well, now we're catching on, and we certainly are changing AL, artificial intelligence, AI, and it's a good thing so that all of our pipelines for water, for electric, for gas cannot be sabotaged. There's sabotage all over the place if we let it happen. That is going to be our number one killer, and we need to protect against it. I'm glad the current administration is building that dome across the United States and much of Canada. That will help, but that's only defense. We also need to make sure that aggressively the space travel and space missiles are intact. We have to make sure all the preventive measures for not losing our water, gas, and electric, and oil.
Yeah, we did a ton of that after 9/11. Remember, Martha, they had like guards at big water reservoirs and things like that. So you need to keep up on it.
Yes.
I mean, 9/11 was, 25 years ago, 24 years ago. And yeah, you got to stay up on top of that because you never know where the espionage or whatever comes from.
Yes.
Crazy.
And you brought up an excellent point. Back then, having guards really helped.
Mm-hmm.
Today, you can sabotage without seeing a person. You can do it by computer.
You're right.
For those that are expert.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to make sure that the computer is protected also. That's an excellent point. And we can prevent that sabotage. It isn't just passwords. There's a lot more to it than that. So let's hope. Let's really, really hope. So those are just a few of the items, but it's going on around the world now. And I don't have time to tell you about Africa, but very similar problems are going on. We've got to be on top of them. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.